Hello, welcome to Empowering Yoga. This is Katie at Elle Studio and Wellness in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And only for today, you're just going to need a clear designated space or a mat, as well as a blanket or two. If you need an optional chair, go ahead, have one handy, and any other props you think you might need. Today's going to be a very empowering. It's going to change and shift the perspective of what it is to move through your practice today. As always, with Elle Studio and Wellness, pulling in a lot of mental health practices and mindfulness techniques to take care of the full spectrum of who you are and what the potential you have inside of you to bring on into this world. So let's go ahead and just find a seat, either on the floor or on your chair. Let's go ahead, take the hands together, clasp the fingers together. And let's go ahead and start rolling out those joints. So making a nice little figure eight. Go ahead, close your eyes. Start to take your breaths. Make whatever sounds you need to. Sounds are something that's deep inside that wants to come up and out. Enjoy your practice today. That's going to be a big focus of today. Working through any sort of anxieties or stressors, taking one of the theories that we need a little bit of action, a little bit of motion to move the body into the space of the mind or move the space into the body. And then releasing the fingers, switching the clasp of the hands, and then try and figure out which direction you just went and go the opposite direction. And if you're not sure, just stop and then try and go the opposite direction. And go ahead, release, and just swim around the arms a little bit. This is great morning style practice or afternoon refresher. Maybe an early evening, definitely not late evening style of practice here. Just kind of moving it around, moving the head. And let's go ahead and find a nice comfortable seat. Closing your eyes, if you have a tissue next to you, we're going to get into some breath practices. So go ahead, just kind of blow any sort of stuffiness out of the nose or outside air. We're going to start with our Nadi Shodan, our alternate nostril breath. Okay? So you use your dominant hand. For me, it's my right hand, so it may look a little bit different to you as we are opposite each other. So my right hand to you would be mirroring your left hand. So just take your dominant hand, okay? And you're going to be using your thumb as well as your ring finger. Okay? And then with your other hand, it is a signal whether or not you are more comfortable with your fingers down or your fingers up. It's the sense of kind of give and take. So that's a little subtle action that's happening in the space of your heart. At least that's the theory. So if you want to set a little bit more of an intention, you can turn your palm up and you can bring your first finger to your thumb. It's kind of instant relaxation 101. Okay? So go ahead and take your thumb to your nostril. Take a nice big breath in. Bring it down into your belly. Okay? Try and find the belly muscles. And it's actually even lower than your belly. Okay? Belly is just kind of a surface, grazing the surface. Try and bring that breath all the way down into your pelvis, way down into your guts, almost down into the front of your pelvis by the groin space. Okay? So internally visualize that breath moving in, bypassing the lungs, filling up the belly, and then way down into the guts. Like you've got a balloon down there. And then exhale. Okay, stay here and inhale again. And at the top of your inhale, so when you build up your torso, then you release your thumb and bring your ring finger to your other nostril And then exhale. Stay here and inhale. Switch, exhale. Stay here and inhale. Switch, exhale. Stay here and inhale. Switch, exhale. Keep this breath moving with the intention of that breath moving down in to fill up your belly. Then maybe you can expand the rib space. Then you can maybe fill up that upper chest. Inhaling and relaxing. Exhaling and relaxing. So the reason that we do this Nadi Shodan, so keep going as I give you a little bit of education, is that we have this heating and this cooling system within the body. Okay? The left nostril is usually affiliated with the moon, with coolness, with softness, and the right nostril is usually affiliated with the sun, with heat, with kind of drive and passions. Okay? So what we're doing here is when you recognize that one nostril may be a little bit more open or closed or stuffy than the other, pending any sort of sinus injuries, okay, it's telling you something, okay? So I want you to use this now as a subtle practice. This is a tool of medicine in your own hands now, that when you feel one side is a little bit more closed off, try breathing through the other nostril a little bit more, okay? So the theory, one of the theories, millennia chosen practices of yoga, say that if one side is blocked, it's working too hard. So you need to breathe through the other nostril, which is the natural thing to do in order to balance it out, okay? So just take this alternate nostril breath as normal. And then after about 10 rounds, then you would start to move into balancing the body out. Okay. And a few more rounds here. Last point is understanding that these either heating, so the kind of hot energy inside of you or that cool energy inside of you, it has essentially to do with lifestyle choices. Okay, so depending on the foods that you eat, if you follow any sort of Chinese medicine or Ayurveda, there are different foods that are recommended for each body type. Maybe you binged a little bit on the drinks last night, okay, and you'll notice that your nostril is telling you something, okay? Maybe it's just a little bit too much salt, maybe it's too much raw stuff, and you need soft, easier digestible things. So it can do with the foods, it can do with if you're sick, the drinks that you have, just your energy level of that day. There's also people who, believe in the chakra system and that the nostrils are telling you that there's an imbalance there as well too. Maybe one nostril is telling you that you got to get upside down a little bit more. Or lay down or rest a little bit more. Okay, so many different things can play into it. You now understand that this is a tool, that you can research it and just start to try different things. Introduce yourself to new different things that you can invite into your lifestyle. So a few more rounds here in silence. Now I go ahead and release after Last inhale. And next is a fire wash, Kapalabhati. Okay. This is a stomach pumping. So anybody who's pregnant, those who are recently postpartum, any sort of digestive issues as IBS, any sort of stomach surgeries, hernias, anything like that, any sort of chronic or intense situations going on in your guts and your digestive system and your reproductive system. Be very careful with this, if not avoid it completely as possible. So you can continue your alternate nostril breath with that too. So we'll still practice together, okay? If that is not you and you want to move forward with this breath, let's go ahead and just take your hand to the front of your pelvis almost. And go ahead, kind of push the belly muscles out and then pull them in. Okay, push the belly muscles out, pull them in. Okay, push them out, pull them in. Push them out, pull them in. Okay, so just keep going here so that you can close your eyes at a certain point and then feel that muscle memory kicking in. And this breath has everything to do with the exhale. Okay, the inhale happens naturally. So you're going to very quickly pull your muscles in towards your spine, but as you do that, you're going to exhale quite forcefully out through your nose, okay? So taking a few examples here, okay? Watch the lower tummy here. Okay, so notice my shoulders aren't moving. As beginners, sometimes your postures look how kind of this feels. Okay, this posture has nothing to do with the shoulders, okay? Try and find those muscles, find that mapping system inside of your internal eyes and find those lower belly muscles. Okay, and we're going to keep that going. One more word, if you're having difficulty finding this breath, is that you need to lift your tushy up a little bit. Tushy higher than your knees, okay? Sometimes if you're down on the floor and you're trying to prove something to somebody that you can sit here on the floor like a yogi, right? Okay, don't do that. Okay, if your knees are up, okay, and if you're kind of pounding your body kind of like this, stop, grab some blankets, come on up, okay? Or you can sit on your feet as well too, okay? Okay. Okay, you don't have to prove anything to anybody here, okay? I want you to practice safely and healthfully. I want you to get as much benefit out of this as possible. So let's keep going here, and then just take your break as you need to. And take a breath. Okay. Fire wash to create a little bit of heat down here. Okay. Now the visualization comes into play. So just practice along with me, even if you don't get it here. Practicing means that you're working. Practicing means that it is working. Okay. Not that just that you're working, but it is also working. Every practice is one step closer to understanding and getting it. Okay. So as you press the breath out of the body, it's not just moving from point A to B, but there's this whole journey that can occur. So as you press that breath out, it's like those pelvic muscles are pressing the lowest part of your torso, the lowest part where the breath can go. And it's pressing the breath up in the front of the spine, up the front of the spinal column in the neck, so that that breath, that energy is moving in between the brain and the skull, and that energy is bypassing or passing by the third eye and moving out through your nostrils, okay? A really cool mapping system inside. So it's going to take a little bit, okay? So go ahead, start your fire breath along with me. And again, as you're pressing the breath out, the breath is moving up the front of the spinal column all the way through the neck and moving through the brain, or in between the skull and the brain, moving past the third eye and then out through the nostrils, okay? So go ahead and take some nice calming, relieving Kapalabhati, a fire breath, skull shining breath, a mixture of a few different breath practices here. We'll go for about the next minute. I will mind the time. You enjoy your practice. Breath. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's come on up to standing. Take your time as you need to and just kind of work it out as you're moving up to standing. Oh, so just kind of move it around, stretch it out a little bit. Do what you got to do here. Okay, take away your blankets, anything that you need to. Let's create some space. Be as selfish as you possibly can. Take up as much space in your room and your space as much as possible. Okay, and if you're practicing with somebody, bump into them. It's okay. They won't mind because they're bumping into you as well too. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's take a nice stance, wide with the feet a little bit here, bending the knees, and let's inhale, reach those arms, sweep them out and up. Go ahead, take that very imperfect and proper back bend here, okay? And just work it out a little bit. Work it out, have some fun, enjoy your body here, self-discovery. Inhale, reach those arms out and up. And then exhale, deeply bending your knees and then folding forward, okay, as imperfectly as possible. Okay, so just moving it around a little bit, moving that head, drooping that head a little bit, shaking my head no, shaking it yes. And as imperfectly as possible, rise on up. Come on up, take that breath. Oh yeah. Yep, stretch it out, open up that chest, kind of take those elbows out to the side a little bit, and then start sweeping those elbows side to side. So twisting and twisting. Okay, nice deep bend in the knees. Oh yeah, just kind of swinging like a little bit of a pendulum or something that's turning, or maybe thinking about that swing that you were on with a kid, or when you were a kid, somebody's spinning you around. And back to center. Inhale, reach those arms out and up. And again, folding forward. Okay, so take those heels out a little bit more than the toes. Okay, work it out here. And we're going to undulate that spine a little bit. So either hands to your shins or to the ground. A nice little kind of cat-cow practice that we're standing up here. Okay, so as imperfect as possible. So kind of arching that lower back. lifting the head and then exhaling, really tucking that tailbone under, really lifting kind of the spine towards the ceiling, tuck that chin under. And again, let's kind of arch that lower back again, bending the knees, looking forward, inhaling. And then exhaling, heels down, tucking that tailbone under, maybe lift that pelvic space, okay? And again, exhaling. One more time. Exhaling. Okay, so just work it out here. Let's go ahead and let's take the left leg back here. Okay, so just a nice tall lunge. Okay, and then just work it out a little bit. Safety tip 101, ankle and the front leg, the ankle is always underneath or behind the knee. Okay, and then just kind of pulse it out a little bit. So straighten the legs, maybe shifting the weight forward and back. Just enjoying the process here, using the body to get out of the mind just for a moment here. Very effective if you're dealing with any sort of stresses, anxieties. And then shifting all of your weight forward, dragging that back leg forward. Nice little standing cat-cow here. And then right leg back, straight back, and then just kind of pulse it out a little bit here. Say good morning to the heat that's building in the legs. Say hello to those hamstrings. And again, shifting your weight forward, and then just drag that back foot forward. Nice little cat-cow. And really give yourself a little bit more oomph. So take your first two fingers to your big toe. And then go ahead and really drop that head down, drop that chest down, take your elbows out to the side. Okay, one of your first forward folds, okay? You got no place to get to, just enjoying the stretch all throughout the legs, through the spine. Bend your knees as much as you need to. And let's go ahead, inhale, reach your arms straight out and up. Leaning back a little bit, taking those elbows out to the side, squeeze that tush. And then go ahead, finding your Tadasana, hands down to the side. Again, inhaling, reaching those arms out and up. And let's go ahead now and take that left leg back. Okay, nice little warrior here. So going ahead, bending that front knee and watching that ankle to knee ratio. And visualize your hips like a book, rolling these thighs outward. Okay, making sure that this front knee is moving towards that second toe. Find some groundedness, like somebody's standing on that outside back foot. Okay, and then play around with the placement of your pelvis here. Okay, so go ahead, kind of tuck that tailbone under, and go ahead, kind of arch it back a little bit. So tuck it under and expand it back. Okay, tuck it under and expand it back. And one more time. Okay, let's extend that left arm back, and then reach that right arm forward and up. Okay, and just gonna pulse it here a little bit. Okay, saying hello to the stretch in that back leg, that strength occurring in that front leg. And then straightening the front leg, gonna heel toe that back foot in just a little bit to a nice little triangle pose. Let's see if we don't get those hips popping this morning, huh? Or whenever you're practicing it. So go ahead, before you lift this top arm, make sure that the posture comes from this top shoulder here. So just draping your hand next to your body, open up that chest and shoulder, looking up if that feels okay for your neck, and then reach that arm up and maybe extend it over to the side if that feels good for you, okay? Make sure that your breath doesn't get caught anywhere. If it does, just back off a little bit, okay? We got nobody to impress here. Just enjoy the journey. And inhaling, again, arcing back a little bit now. Nice big stretch in the front body here. And then find a downward dog. Okay, first downward dog. Oh, go ahead, let me hear those sounds, all those moans and those groans. Working out heels here. Really stretching that back. Really stretching that spinal column. Okay, so deeply bend those knees and feel like somebody's kind of pulling your hips back up behind you. Okay, so moving around those heels a little bit. And now let's walk the feet forward to the hands by lifting the hips to lift the foot. Lift the hip to lift the foot. Hip, foot, hip, foot. Okay, nice little cat-cow here. And let's rise all the way out and up. However you want to. And then hands together at heart center. Mindfulness practice starting to build. Inhaling, reaching those arms out now. Exhaling, forward folding. Little cat-cow. Okay, now take the right leg back, okay, and then come on up. Okay, so I'm gonna switch around here. Very professional. Okay, so go ahead, deeply bending that left knee, okay, and then feeling like somebody's standing on that outside back foot. You don't want that outer foot up, okay? That's where the whole stability of the posture comes from, okay? Ankle to knee ratio, and let's tuck that pelvis under, and then go ahead and release it back. Okay, so tuck it under, and release it back. Okay, really gotta focus here. Find that tailbone. Okay, so reaching those arms out. And let's go ahead and just kind of stretch back a little bit. Oh yeah. Let me hear those moans and those groans. Big beautiful stretches, and then let's pulse. Just pulse that front leg. Okay, what does the body feel like today? Thanking it for being a part of your practice. Using your breath. Okay. Let's go ahead, straighten that front leg. Let's bring that back foot in a little bit here. Okay, so that's about a 45-degree angle. Okay, and let's go ahead and just find a nice triangle pose. But again, don't do anything with the top arm yet. Keep it down by your side. Really open up from the center of your rib cage. If you also need to kind of visualize opening up from the hips, then the tummy, then the chest. Feeling some space in the neck, and then go ahead and extend that top arm. Okay, and we're going to wherever feels comfortable for you. However the body wants to stretch on out for today, maybe even back behind you, maybe wrapping around to the top of your thigh. You got some groovy tunes going on here as you're starting to jam. And then inhale, let's cartwheel those arms up. A nice big stretch on the front side of the body. And then go ahead, downward dog. We're going to walk the feet forward properly. So not every single time you do a sun salutation, when the teacher tells you to walk your feet forward, this is what you're supposed to be doing. Okay? So you lift one hip to lift the foot. Lift one hip to lift the foot. Hip, foot, hip, foot, hip, foot. Okay, nice little cat-cow here. Inhale, sweeping those arms straight out and up. And closing your posture, hands to heart center. Go ahead and take that left leg back. Okay. Really firing up the body here, empowering yoga, right? It's really getting that energy moving, that flow going inside of your body. Okay, so now we're going to find our goddess pose. Okay, so your toes are turned out a little bit further than your heels. Okay, but still remember, ankles either underneath or in front of the knees. And then go ahead, just kind of pulse it a little bit here. Okay, say good morning to the pelvis. Okay. All right, this is all good stuff. Just remember, all good stuff. Okay, now let's work on the arms a little bit. So go ahead, reach those arms out and up, and then bend those knees, come down into your squat, and then bring your arms out to the goalpost. Okay, come on up. Okay, and let's do that again, but this time we need to tuck that tailbone under. Okay, so it's the sense of kind of pulling all of the muscles in, so the front as well as the back muscles, and then tucking that tailbone under as you come on down. Okay, that's your brick house. Okay, that's your power in this posture here. So go ahead and try and figure that out as you come on down. Okay, so up and then down, up and down. A few more times here. Up and down. Up and down. Okay. 3 more on your own pace. Really figure it out. And go ahead, turn your toes in, heels out. Nice little forward fold here. Oh. So let's work it out here. Again, turn those toes in a little bit more than the heels. Let's find some nice twists here, okay? So go ahead and take the right hand to the floor and turn those fingertips towards the left, okay? And then with that left arm, you're gonna exhale, scoop that arm underneath, and then inhale, reach it out and up. And then exhale underneath, inhale it out and up. And exhale underneath, and now this time, let's keep it up. And keep it up, and square off your hips a little bit. Move around that head. And if you're new at this, it can kind of help to feel like you're leaning back. That does something in the activation of your lower spine. Okay, so instead of cranking and arching that lower back, if you, again, as a beginner, you slightly lean back a little bit, it'll help stretch out that lower back. Inhale, expand, twist a little bit deeper, and then exhale, go ahead and release. And just hang out here. Dance around, do whatever you want to, but really drop that head down. We hold so much control in our life, and it comes out with often the position of the head in our yoga practice. So really drop that head down, okay? Loosen up a little bit of control here. Okay, now other side. And if the floor is too far away from you, and you can get your hand on the block, or you can use the chair too, okay? So left fingertips to the floor, fingertips turning towards the right, take that right arm, sweep it underneath, exhale, and then inhale, twist and open it up. Okay, 2 more times. If your breath stops, you've gone a little bit too far, or you need to hang on that space and negotiate within the body a little bit more in order to allow that breath to flow. Never should you be holding your breath in yoga, okay? There's only very, 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 very few postures and practices that do that, okay? You're breathing more than you're not breathing. So recognize this is strengthening the spine. So feel jittery as you need to. This can be a challenge, but enjoy this. And this is a minor challenge within the body. The way that you face this challenge is going to help you face challenges and stressful situations in your everyday life. This is where we take your yoga practice off the mat. And an exhale. Release. Okay, and then heel toe, feet together. Okay, all the way together. Okay, nice little balance posture here. Okay, very, very simple posture, but sometimes can be extremely difficult. So go ahead and widen your toes as much as you possibly can. Okay, bending the knees, starting to squeeze the legs together. Okay, rising on up. And then reaching your arms out and up. Squeeze the legs together. Reach those arms out and up. First finger to thumb. Okay, and then coming on up the balls of the feet. So lifting those heels. And your drishti, your focal point. And then slowly come on down. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Okay, let's go ahead and let's fold forward. And reset the body a little bit here. Deeply bend those knees as you need to. Widen those toes, starting from your base. Squeezing the legs. Slowly rising on up. First finger to thumb. Find your focal point. And rise on up. Lift those heels. Lift them way up. And then exhale. Come on down. Okay. Eagle posture. Go ahead. Deeply bend that right knee. Okay. Cross that left leg up and over. Okay. If this is a little too much for you, you can hang out with just this foot off the ground. Okay. And you can always swing that foot back behind. Okay. The leg if you want to. Okay. And same thing we did in goddess pose. Let's go ahead and find that brick house, the core center here, okay, that you're always building towards. Squeeze the legs together. Okay. And then, general rule, just whichever leg is on top, the arm goes underneath. Okay. And you sweep, find each other, palm to palm. Lifting those elbows a little bit. Again, remember. And so from a side view here. Okay. So you often can kind of hang out with that tushy hanging out back here. Okay. Just going to tuck it under. It's like you're standing upright. And then go ahead, inhale, release. And left foot down. Widen the toes. Sit down the knee. Go ahead, take that right leg up and over. Okay. So, side winds, closest together. Sweep. Hands meet. Then make your adjustments. Okay. Tucking the tailbone under, lifting those elbows. Soft breath. If you want to play around with it too, you can lift those elbows a little bit. Feel like they just stretch that arc in that upper back. And go ahead, please. Look at a little bit here. Take the legs apart. And just moving a little bit side to side. Okay. So we're setting that as pose. Okay. But this time with heel lift. Okay. So again, nice big balance posture here. So when you're ready, inhale, lift your heels and then bring them down. Okay. It's going to take a few times and then you'll find that sense of power and poise. Okay. So lifting the heels, and bringing them softly down. Lifting the heels. Okay, 2 more times. There we go. Heels out. Fold forward. Now let's go ahead and scoot those hands over to that right leg. Go ahead, deeply bend that right knee. Make sure that knee is moving forward from the foot. Okay, bring most of your weight. And then go ahead with that left leg. Have activation of the thigh. Okay, so we don't get any hyperextension. We don't want that bow of the leg downward. So go ahead, keep that activation going here. And then shift your weight around a little bit. You need to hold on to your chair, hold on to your chair. And then rise on up. Okay. Taking first finger to thumb. And release. Other side. Okay, this is not easy pose. Okay. Way around. Goes up. Okay. Figure it out. Find the bones stacking. And go ahead and release. Come all the way down to the ground. Let's go ahead and just kick both legs forward here. Just rock a little bit side to side. So again, still bicycle out those legs. Make sure the bottoms of the feet are pressing out flat so we don't have any feet kicked in here. And find a nice twist. So go ahead and just cross that left leg up and over the right. Press the hands over the knee. Visualize your spine. You have a great practice on back care, back pain. Practicing that kind of sets the tone for this posture here, but finding your internal eyes, find large and wide open spaces in between each vertebrae, all the way from the tailbone to the back of the hip, to that lower spine, middle spine, upper spine, back of the neck, attaching to the base of the skull. Giving each vertebrae a little bit of attention. Keeping that broadening, that widening, that stability of the spine. Go ahead and extend your right arm out to the side a little bit. Keep that lift going as you start to twist on over to the left. Okay. Keep that lift going. And if it feels good for you, if you want to advance a little bit further, you can take that front arm and extend it back to the floor behind you. You can use everything as a little bit of leverage, okay? But recognize that your breath does most of the work. It's not forcing your body, your breath does most of the work. So take a nice big breath in, recognize that you back off typically a little bit. And as you exhale, you find yourself moving into a deeper twist. Okay? Keep that lift, keep the spine, making sure that your head is still over your hips. And then exhale, release. To center. And then switching legs. So stay here to find your grounding in both the body and the mindfulness practice of visualizing every single vertebrae. Widening the gaps in between each vertebrae. Recognizing your spine as like an axis within your body. The direction from which everything moves. There's no part of your body that is more important than others. So do not judge the quality of your life by the quality of your body. Now, as you move, you recognize that there's something inside of you that's chatting with you. Something inside of you that you're negotiating with in order to find movement, to find the breath, to find the twist. It's telling you how far you can go and where there might be room and opportunity to go a little bit deeper. So go ahead, listen to that little voice inside of you. Okay? Find your twist, find your adjustments. Hang out, there's a certain sense of feedback. And then see when that voice inside of you would like to go a little bit deeper, and then go ahead and take that arm back behind you. Okay, and use that breath. Use that breath. So inhale, you back off a little bit, and then exhale, you find a deeper twist. Keep sitting up straight. Maybe find some lift at the base of your pelvis. And turn that neck to wherever feels good. Listen to that little space of potential inside. And then exhale, go ahead and release. Let's go ahead, take a blanket or two, or a block or a bolster. Let's land back. Find a little inversion practice here. So going ahead, bringing your hips up onto a blanket. Otherwise, if you'd like to work a little bit more strength within the spine, within the psoas, the legs, and just kind of overall strength and conditioning, you can keep that blanket out from underneath you. See if when you bend your knees and you bring your feet to the floor, if maybe you can take your fingertips and touch the back of your heels. And lifting your hips on up. You could spend an entire session on all of the adjustments that you can make in your bridge pose. But for right now, feel that there is almost this balloon underneath your body here that's helping to inflate your body up. So tucking your shoulders under a little bit. Safety rule number one is always keeping that nose pointed up at the ceiling. So just listen to my voice. Don't look at what I'm doing. If you have to turn your head, keep your nose up to the ceiling. Feel energy moving down through your heels, almost like you're trying to pull your heels back towards you. Welcome all of the sensations occurring here. Welcome the breath and that sense again of inflated balloon underneath your body. And go ahead and release slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Moving the knees a little bit side to side. And final posture, at least for us, is a nice little shoulder arm release. And then we relax. So go ahead. This is our cow facing pose, but restorative style. So go ahead, take your right arm up, and then take that right palm and place it underneath your upper back. And then you take your left arm, and if you have to lean over to the right a little bit, take your left hand underneath your lower back or middle back, palm to the floor. And just maneuver them a little bit so that maybe you can have the focus of those fingertips meeting underneath you, and then look up a little bit. Make sure that your body is in alignment here. And rest here, reaping the benefits of your practice today. And softly releasing that bottom arm. And the top arm, take a breath. Now left arm reaches up, hand behind the upper back. And then right arm underneath. Palm down, again, fingertips working towards each other. And going ahead, doing as you wish with the legs. Rest here. And recognizing that the body and the mind have met somewhere in the middle. And that somewhere is that space of breath. And say the breath is our emotions of the soul. We don't even have to talk, we can just communicate with the breath, the movement of the breath. Where that breath is moving to and from the inside of your body, not just into your lungs. How long the breath is, how short the breath is, if it's choppy, if it gets stuck, or if it's long and smooth. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and release the bottom arm first, and then the top arm. And this next breath of relief that you take is going to show you all that hard work that you did today. Next time you're in any sort of stressful or anxious, any sort of emotion on the extreme scale, and somebody tells you to take a breath, which is the last thing that any of us want to hear from somebody, it is so true and it is so extremely helpful. You have explored the space of your breath down into your pelvis, into your back body. It moved you in and out of your twist. So use that breath as a tool right now. So find that big breath. Bring it way down into your guts. Big, 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 big breath. And anytime you're met with a situation or a challenge, this is that big breath you take. And let it out. One more time. Big breath. And now we rest. Continuing to rest, lying down. And feel that breath moving in to fill up the pelvis, to fill up the belly. Maybe feeling that breath moving into your lower back as you're lying down. Lay here for as long as you'd like to. Practicing empowerment today. Move the body, not necessarily into a space of strength and power, but the space of balance. This embodiment of empowerment, this sense of power and poise, a sense of effort and ease. Practicing within a space of safety and no pain. A space that is filled with love. And a space of potential and opportunity within each one of us. So feel free to look the next person in the eye, right into that space of potential within them. And see what happens next. Thank you so much for joining me today. Empowering yoga. Enjoy the journey. Namaste.